Hello and welcome back to BMX Madness Theme T-shirt help video. This is chapter 2, editing the file in Adobe Illustrator. In this chapter we'll talk about how to edit the colors and the text, and also I'll show you how to export separations and print them if need be. My name is Maria, I'm a graphic designer and I'll be your guide throughout this tutorial. So let's get started. First and foremost, let's open up the Adobe Illustrator file and let's open up the file we are interested in. We're going to work with two-color file. If you're new to Tshirt printing, you should know that more colors your design has, more costly it's going to be to actually print your t-shirt design. And in some cases, well, in all the cases, especially when we talk about screen printing, there is a limitation of how many colors you can use. There's no such limitation when it comes to digital print, but just to make sure, we're always working with the assumption you want to print this on your t-shirt using screen printing. Once we open the file, you'll see two different designs, one for light colored t-shirts and one for dark colored t-shirts. The design and everything you needed is basically in layers, so you'll have two different groups, light and dark, and then within those groups you have all the different layers of all the different elements that were used. So you can change or modify all these elements to fit your own needs. When it comes to the colors, when you open up the swatches panel, if you don't already have it open, go to Window, where is it, Color, Swatches. Here's where you open the swatches panel. It's already open in my Illustrator. You're going to see that the colors in this swatches panel have this little white triangle on the bottom, and what that means is that the colors inside this template are so-called global colors. What that means is that they are all connected, so you don't have to go and select each and every object in order to change the color. Let's say you don't want it to be brown yellow, you want it to be green yellow, and instead of going and changing each and every individual object, you just double click on the swatches panel, make sure the preview is checked, and let's change it to something green. We can make it maybe a little bit darker, and voila, we've changed all of our colors. I mean, it's that simple to change the color scheme. If you want to change the other color, you do the same thing, double click on the swatch. Let's make this a little brighter yellow at 60%, and here you go. Basically, you've done everything you need to do with your colors. Now, if you want to change individual elements, I strongly suggest that you continue using swatches, and this is how you create basically a new color. Let's say we just want the text color to be different. We double click here in the front color panel. We're gonna create a little bit lighter green. Let's put this here and click OK. And now just you can either, if you have the color panel open, again, if you don't see it, go to Window, then open the color panel. Here in this little, click on this arrow, and okay, you don't probably see this, let me show you again. If you click on this arrow, go to the bottom and create a new swatch. Once you do that, it will open the new swatch panel. Make sure to check the global colors and click OK. Now if you want to change colors again, you don't have to again select different elements, just simply double click on it, check the preview button so you can see what you're doing, and here you go. Your colors have been changed. That was it when it comes to editing colors. As you can see, it's fairly fast and easy to do it in Illustrator. When it comes to changing the text, let's say we want to change this, instead of BMX we want to place some other text, it doesn't matter. You can either select the type tool here on the panel. If you work mostly through keyboard, just type T on your keyboard, and once you hover over the editable text, it will show up. So I'm just going to select this text, Control A, which means I'm selecting everything. I'm just going to type smart. I'm going to double click on it, go to type, change case, uppercase. If you work in the newer versions of Adobe Illustrator, you're going to be able to do that through your character panel. You're going to have uppercase and lowercase here. But if you're working with CS5, you're going to need to go through type, change case, and uppercase if you want all the letters to be uppercase. Now, when it comes to editing the properties of this text, you select the text, open the characters panel, and here we can change the font family, we can change the font style, we can change the size, we can change the leading, tracking. Leading in this case, it doesn't matter because you don't have multiple lines of text. But if you did, this would basically be the distance between two lines of text. Tracking is the distance between individual letters. So let me show you. If I make it bigger, that distance of course is going to get bigger. You can also change the width, the horizontal and the vertical scales of the text. I recommend to play with this panel, and if you hover, if you place your mouse over the icon, as you can see, it's going to show you basically what each and every option does. Okay, so that was it when it comes to the editing of the template. You save this version first, and after you have saved it, and let's say you want to send it to be printed, you're gonna need to convert your text into the outlines, or send the font you've been using along with this template, because if the company you're printing with doesn't have this font, they're not going to be able to open the file and print it correctly. It's going to go to default, and you're going to get something like Arial or something like that instead of the fonts you use. The best practice is to convert it into convert it to outlines, and the way to do that is simply go to Select, Object, Text Objects, and that will select all the text objects that are inside this template. Then we go to Type, Create Outlines, and here we go. We've created the outlines for our text, and now that is not editable anymore, and it's not a text anymore. So basically it's just another object. Now let's talk about separations. It is fairly simple to create separations from Illustrator, and like I said, this is just to show you how your file is going to be printed. So we'll go to File, Print. We're going to select Adobe PDF, so you can see what we're going to be printing. Now I want to select, let's say I just want to work with the light material print. I'm gonna select the range. This is usually 1, 2, or you can see where you are if you play with it. Size is going to be custom in order to fit all the elements I need for this, all the marks and bleeds. So once you have the custom selected, you might want to place your own width and height. Add about a couple of inches, maybe an inch or two around your original design so you can get all the necessary elements inside there. Now we're going to select all printer marks. That's the best way. And we're going to use document bleed settings. Now I don't usually, you basically don't need bleed when it comes to these files, but in some cases some print companies are going to ask you for bleed. That's usually when you have something going over the board and everything like that, probably when it's within the seams and stuff like that. So we just leave it that way. When it comes to the mode, this is the default mode you're going to get. This is usually the default mode. Now we're going to use separations, host based, and then you're going to see the colors, because this is a CMYK file. If you had let's say a Pantone file, you're going to get different colors here. I usually work with CMYK because in that case I get the colors I need, and it always is applicable to screen printing. Emulsion, based on the type of screen printing, whether you do it directly on your t-shirt or you're making a sticker, you're going to have different types of emulsion. You're either going to get up, which is basically the way you see it, or down, which is basically in the mirror file. This is something you're going to get from your print company. Image, whether we're talking about screen printing or there is something called subliminal print. In subliminal print you're going to use the negative, usually it's the positive, and whether or not you're going to need to leave over print, that's something again you're going to need to talk to your print company. Of course, frequency, angle, and dot shape are also something you're going to get from them. And this is why I say you're never going to be asked to use this, but this is just so you know how to do this in case you ever want to, for some reason, create separations. Graphics, make sure it's automatic. Download is downloading the fonts, doesn't matter because we created outlines. And color manager, printer part profile, again something you're going to need to get from your printing company. And then you get the summary. Yes, in advanced, make sure to place the high resolution, convert all text to outlines, convert all strokes to outlines, and overprints we're going to leave them to be preserved. So now we're going to print it. And let me print it somewhere here on the desktop. And here we go. We have color 1 is cyan. Basically that's what you film for the cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And once you compile all those colors, you go first with the layer of one color, the second color, the third color, the fourth color, and once you're done you basically get screen printed design. Okay, that was it for chapter 1, editing the file in Adobe Illustrator. If you have any questions, suggestions, or anything else you need, please don't hesitate to send me an email and I'll try to respond as soon as possible. Thank you for watching this help file, and I'll see you in the next chapter where we'll talk about editing the files in Adobe InDesign. Bye!